Chapter 6, Envisioning a Preschool Classroom that Works for All Children. So this chapter is basically going off after chapter 5, which we introduce Amelia and her teacher and how Amelia is having trouble in school. She's not really enjoying school. Well, it's not that she's not enjoying school. Her and the teacher aren't really getting along. They're having some issues. The teacher's doing whatever she's taught to do, to act with students, how to teach them, how to treat them if they do something wrong, or how to do, basically everything with the children. And Amelia is not responding well, is not wanting to respond well, and so they're just having a lot of issues with that. Miss Krasinski, I'm sorry, it's not sure if I'm saying it right, goes to her supervisor, Miss Lute, and she basically says, I need some help with her. And so this chapter is about letting those above you observe your classroom and listen to their critiques and feedback very carefully. They will give you new ideas and critique you of some things they might not think is right, but it's all in good mind. It's not to judge you. It's not to tell you you're a bad teacher. It's just to tell you, well, how about you try it this way? Or how about you try this? Those type of things to help you out. And they don't want you to feel like you're not doing a good job. That's not it at all. They just want to encourage you to try new ways. I mean, they've been in this most likely longer than you have as a teacher, especially a new teacher. So it doesn't hurt to listen to what they say. And I mean, if they have the research information to back it up, then there's no reason not to listen to them and to just to think about the things that they have said to you. So back to the chapter. Miss Krasinski and her supervisor, Miss Lute, she begins by saying, I know you don't like being told what to do and don't seem fond of rules. And Miss Krasinski's kind of amazed that she told her that. And she's like, well, neither does Amelia. And she was like, well, okay, I get it. And she's like, she told her this because she saw her on her phone, even though they told her not to. They told the whole staff of the preschool not to be on their phones, but Miss Krasinski did. And she didn't know that, but she also told her not to, whenever the kids line up to go to the sink, not to line them all up together, instead to line them up one by one, because then some kids at the end of the line get rowdy, especially the boys, and the girls finish up faster than the boys, so then the girls are waiting for the boys longer. So she just told them to send them up one by one, but she didn't. She was sending them up the same. But the day that she was there, the teacher was there, she, obviously did not bring out her phone, and she did not line them up at once. She lined them up separately, one by one, just as she was told. So it says that in the preschool classroom, someone's always watching, even if you don't see them. Someone is watching you, and, might as well do things right because someone sees everything. And also, I remember towards the end of the chapter, she said, your children will also sell you out because they don't know what's right and what's wrong. They will say things that they're probably not supposed to say. Like in this chapter, she asked her at the end, how did you know about my phone? And she's like, well, your kid sold you out. And she's like, and the whole school knows, so everyone's watching. So starting on page 127 and 128, something that I really liked that Miss Lute said, was that by providing children choices throughout the day, you will have a classroom in which children will feel at home. Wouldn't your classroom be a more relaxed and happier place if children made their choices individually and naturally while they were leaving the breakfast table instead of waiting around on the carpet for the next thing on the schedule to begin? Because Miss Krasinski was doing this thing where after every activity, she'd make them go back to the carpet and back to the carpet to the activity and back to the carpet to transition. And she was saying how this just honestly wastes a lot of time, and it would just be easier for the kids to just be able to go from one place to another instead of having to go every single time back to the carpet, which was, the kids were not like to do it after so many times, especially if your teacher's having you do it 12 times a day. So that's one thing that she was telling her about. And the teacher at first was kind of didn't know how she felt about that. She's like, well, aren't we supposed to be doing a routine? And she's like, well, yeah, do a routine, but also make it feel like they're at home. Don't make it feel like, they have to go to the carpet 12 times a day, because that's not a good routine that they want to follow. That's not something they're going to like. So then, as a teacher, she says, you multitask. Because after you let the kids do what they want, you let them do wherever they want throughout the day. It says that the teacher, you're the one that's multitasking at this point. You're conversing with children at your table while keeping an eye on the rest of the classroom and the rest of the kids in the different centers. You engage with all of the children, but at the same time, still scan the whole room to make sure everyone is playing safe. Everyone is playing safe and productively. So this is what I loved about the start. The Head Start teacher that I would go visit, that she was always going from child to child, but still making sure everyone was doing something productive, but also having all the resources to play and making sure that everyone was playing nice and no one was hurting anybody else and stuff like that. So, shortly after, Miss Lute had this conversation with Miss Krasinski, that she lets the children do as they please, do the teaching that they want whenever they want. And you can see Amelia that starts to like school. She starts to have a different intake on school. She starts to engage more and have a better relationship with the teacher. And the teacher lets her choose whatever she wants. And she even gets her to do whatever activity she wants by just kind of playing her cards right and knowing what works with Amelia and what doesn't. And this is all because she looked at Amelia as an individual instead of generalizing the whole class. So this is what the chapter is mainly about, just getting your children to just work in the class for the whole for everybody, not just for one child or for 5 children, but having the classroom work for everyone. And that's what the teacher did with what Miss Luke gave her all the information to do. Thank you.